Over these last two legs, Mikel, in your reign as Arsenal boss, where does this one rank for you? Two legs and you've beaten the holders, Real Madrid.
One of the best nights in my football career for sure, and really a special one. I mean, we played against the team with the biggest history. That has been an inspiration, I think, for all of us in this competition, and to be able to win the tie in the manner that we've done it, I think we have to be very proud of ourselves.
And that's it, it's the manner that you did it. You looked in control from start to finish against this Real Madrid side. And ordinarily at your ground, you did it. But here at the Bernabeu, with the noise, with the expectation, how proud are you of the way that the players conducted themselves?
I'm really proud because it's very difficult. It's my first time in that touchline, so I have no experience before to be in there. And after 2-3 minutes, you realize that anything can happen in this stadium. And I think you have to be there to realize that. And I got the feeling straight away, something goes wrong, they score a goal, game on, and anything can happen. Fortunately, a lot of things went for us, a part of Bukayo's missing the penalty, but I think overall we did what we had to do to win the game.
We were talking, I think, listen, in all of our careers, there were moments in our careers, our club careers, where you go, that was a big moment for us that really changed the dynamic and the belief in the squad. Could tonight, over these two legs, actually be part of that for you guys?
I hope so. Yeah. I think
obviously. You sense that feeling?
I have that feeling, and obviously the history we have in this competition is so short. It's the third time in our history that we've done what we just done. So we need to build on that, and we are really hungry. We want more. It's a really young team that is very determined, and all these experiences, including me for sure, is going to help us a lot to try to achieve something big.
Mikel, Maka was saying, and of course he's won this thing 2 times already, that it's only a quarter-final, by the way. But last year's quarter-final, we went out to Bayern Munich, and in that first leg, we didn't seem to know whether to attack or to sit. The game was 2-2, and this time round, you were so...
I'm very, very proud of this team. We've showed that we can play in Europe and beat one of the best teams in the world, home and away. So, yeah, tonight was a big statement, and I'm so happy for everyone.
Look, you got your goal at the end, the penalty at the beginning. Can we touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, we can. It can happen. You know, I tried something, it didn't work, but I was confident that I was going to score tonight, and I kept my head, and I managed to do it in the second half.
Do you feel you learnt something in that moment?
Yeah, I learn in every moment, and obviously I'll learn from it, move forward. But yeah, tonight I'm more focused on enjoying the win, and maybe tomorrow or next week I'll review it properly.
For large parts of that game, you looked so comfortable defensively. Did you feel comfortable out there?
Yeah, we felt comfortable. We're quite good when we get into a low block, and we showed that again tonight, so I'm proud of everyone. It did take a lot of hard work, a lot of running, but yeah, we managed to do it and keep them to score less goals tonight.
Paris Saint-Germain, you have already beaten this Champions League campaign. Now you're going to meet them in semi-finals. How different are the two teams from when you last met?
Yeah, much different. I see them playing with much more confidence, and yeah, we watched them again last night and they were top, so yeah, we'll be ready. It will be a big challenge, a very good match, but yeah, we'll be ready.
Can Arsenal win this?
Yeah, I like to believe that, and I think we can.
Performance tonight.
I mean, you look very relaxed, very relaxed.
I wasn't at the beginning, but I am now. It was a great performance. Arsenal completely dominated Real Madrid in their own backyard. All the players battled really hard. They were very organised, put in top performances. I have to say, Declan Rice, over both legs, he was colossal in that midfield. He really led by example. Saka scored a great goal. And then just at the end there, Martinelli topped it off with a great counter-attack. And it was Marino who picked the ball up on the edge of the box. He's played a great through ball. The back line of Real Madrid couldn't step up because they're in their own half. And then Martinelli's used his speed, gone through, come across the defender and just slotted it, Henry-like finish to make it 5-1. I did say 5-1. And it was like easy work, really. They're the holders. We've beaten 5-1. It was really easy. They've had like 2 shots on target. You know, obviously they scored a goal, mistake by Saliba, but overall it was a great performance by Arsenal.
A momentous night for Arsenal, but also for Mikel Arteta as well, to essentially demolish the holders, Real Madrid.
And that's exactly what it was. It really was. They had no idea. I mean, it's not them It's not the Real Madrid I recognise. You know, when we think about the great Real Madrid sides, we think about Ronaldo, you know, Benzema, turning up, putting in big performances, scoring big goals when needed, like sort of Toni Kroos they needed tonight. Some invention, some imagination, some of them cute passes that they play. There was none of that tonight, none of that at all. And it was just, they was crossing the ball from deep. And I don't know what their game plan was, to be honest, because they were just putting like willy-nilly crosses in from deep, from wide, but there was no, you know, Mbappe, he's not an out-and-out striker. He doesn't fancy getting on the end of things. Arsenal defenders were happy with that. If you had said to the Arsenal defenders before this tie started, will you be happy just defending crosses? They would have been, yeah, no problem. It was a poor performance from Real Madrid tonight, and you know the fans were, you know, very frustrated. They were whistling, you know, towards the end of the first half. Obviously, Ancelotti's, you know, disappointed. But to say that that's the holders of Champions League and you've gone out by losing 5-1 is really poor tonight.
And Arsenal through to the semi-finals where they'll play Paris Saint-Germain. What chance Arsenal to get by them?
Again, another tough game. Paris Saint-Germain have got some really good young players, a very quick front line, a bit like Real Madrid's front line. But again, I think that Arsenal have the minerals to get this done because defensively, they're so well organised. Kiwior stepped in for Gabriel. If I'm honest, I thought that Real Madrid players might kind of, you know, try and hang around him because he hasn't played as much as, you know, other players have in this Arsenal squad. But he's come in and he's done really well. And then Timber's put in a solid performance. I feel like, and I said this at the beginning of the season, if Arsenal are going to win a title, when I say title, I mean like the league or the Champions League, it's going to be because of the defence. Arsenal's defence is one of the best in the world. They're very solid, they're very good in one-on-one situations, and that's what you need in this day and age, in this kind of game. So I feel like they can deal with Paris Saint-Germain's threats as well. And
tell us more about Declan Rice's performance tonight, out of this world, and particularly up against Jude Bellingham as well. Those two had a right fight tonight. Yeah,
they had a few arguments on the pitch as well. I mean, that goes to show you, you know, when you're playing against another team, whether it's your friend or not, you've got no friends in football when it comes to you playing against your mate. And that's what he's done tonight. He's put in a very mature performance. I always say
Arsenal destroyed Real Madrid in Champions League. Real Madrid actually started well and had a goal disallowed for offside after 2 minutes when Kylian Mbappe shouldered the ball in from a stupid position. Arsenal then had a penalty and a huge chance to end the tie early. Martin Odegaard stepped up, but rather than activating the Castilla curse, Mikel Arteta's men chose to swap out for Bukayo Saka, who predictably missed. Madrid then seemingly had a penalty as the arms of Declan Rice engulfed Mbappe. But after a VAR check, the referee decided that there was not enough in it. Whilst Real Madrid pushed ahead for the remainder of the first half, they didn't really create anything concrete. 0-0 at the break, agonizingly. The second half brought more of the same, with Real Madrid on top and looking to attack, but struggling to create anything of substance. Arsenal then dealt the final blow as Martin Odegaard orchestrated the type of attack that Madrid had been searching for all game. His clever play found Mikel Merino, who slotted the ball through to Bukayo Saka to score. Vinicius Junior scored a minute later after a huge mistake. But this was not going to be enough. To make things worse, Arsenal won the game in added time when Gabriel Martinelli beat the keeper and added a cherry to the top of their cake. Real Madrid just cannot beat Arsenal. Full-time 1-2, and Real Madrid are out. Angel Martinez Getty Images. Real Madrid crashed out of the UEFA Champions League at the quarter-final stage for their worst performance in the competition for 5 years as they lost 2-1 to Arsenal at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, to head out 5-1 on aggregate to the Gunners. Bukayo Saka made up for a missed penalty in the first half by chipping Thibaut Courtois to give his team the lead in the second, but Vinicius Junior hit back shortly after as he pounced to score into an empty net after a high press. Gabriel Martinelli then secured the win on the night with another in injury time. Again chipping Courtois on the break. It's fair to say that if this were anyone other than Real Madrid, there probably wouldn't even have been talk of a possible remontada. The fact that it was Real Madrid, at the Bernabeu of all places, made it a spectacle and gave Madridistas real hope that if anyone could turn it around, it would be this club. The issue perhaps lies in that very sentence. The hopes of a remontada were built around what this club is, rather than this team. The leaders of previous generations have moved on, and only Luka Modric remains, albeit on the bench. The Croatian actually set a new record for most Champions League appearances from an outfield player for Real Madrid with 134 with his brief cameo. But even in spite of that, the lack of that character and leadership on the field was evident. Perhaps in part, that's why Ancelotti opted for David Alaba in defense, to bring a wise head into the equation. Whatever the game plan was, it didn't work. While Vini and Mbappe brought energy and drive in the final third early on, there was nobody stepping up to dictate the tempo or to calm the nerves as they grew. Without that, a remontada became increasingly impossible. The decision to go with Fede Valverde and David Alaba at fullback in the first leg was the source of some criticism for Carlo Ancelotti. Alaba struggled up against the pace and energy of Bukayo Saka, while Valverde's presence was missed in midfield. Here, he changed his stakes, moving the Uruguayan back into the middle, but he opted to stick with Alaba ahead of Frangarca, who was expected in many parts to have the starting role at left-back. It was an approach which was neither conservative nor gung-ho. The fact that Alaba's first involvement was to take out Saka and earn himself a yellow card on just 4 minutes didn't help matters. On the other flank, Lucas Skay played so high that he looked more like a winger, with Valverde on the right in midfield having to drop back and cover him.